Growth has just come to a halt by the looks of it. So people are very worried that that huge explosion of money flowing into social networks like Twitter, Facebook, Google, some of the other big tech companies, maybe that's beginning to slow and come to an end. That's a serious worry on Wall Street.
Well, it also sounds as if on the call a couple of days ago, Mark Zuckerberg and his people were talking about how, given the changes in their business plan, it's going to cost them more money going forward for security.
And I also think, look, I don't do Facebook, but I'm told it used to be fun. You used to keep in touch with your friends and your relatives all around the world, but now you've got to scroll through a screed of hostile political comment, and it's just not fun anymore.
All right, we're here at Dr. Lipoff office, and I'm here with Greg, one of the first veterans we've actually treated. And Greg, as I told you, I donated $60,000 to help heal 25 vets for my father's. It was his Father's Day and stuff like this. He's a colonel in the military, and we're just, again, thank you so much for your service and stuff. And I know you've been through a lot, and you said, so we had we call this the GodShot done, where we reset the parasympathetic nervous system. And just in a nutshell, what happened? You went through. You told me the story, but you went through like a massive explosion over in Iraq where you served, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And how would you describe that trauma that happened, like right there? Like, what have you experienced since then with post-traumatic stress disorder? We also call this post-traumatic stress injury is what we're stressing instead of it being a disorder. But what have you experienced since that?
Well, since that, especially with the PTSD, is withdrawal, seclusion.
Pulling yourself out of society?
Yeah, pulling myself out of society. It was, I've had a lot of outbursts.
Anger and stuff like this?
Anger, directed toward people, family and friends. I've lost some friends in it along the way because I would just flip right out, and just bark,
Right.
And it was just the smallest things that would actually set it right off. And
has it robbed you of a lot of happiness in life?
oh yes, certainly have. I made a lot of financial mistakes and everything along the way too as well, and because of not being able to think all the way through as far as on those decisions and that, too as well.
For sure.
And it's really hard, initially even being in society. There was a couple incidences where I was in a restaurant, but of course I was in the far back corner, sitting there, and then there was a loud noise, and I pushed myself away from the table, and then I just said, oh no. I was there with the first sergeant type, and I jumped up, went racing out of the restaurant. First sergeant come running after me, and when he got to me, my eyes kind of rolled back to the back of my head. I fell backwards. I had what they think like a panic attack, induced the seizures from stress. And so I've had things like that. But it's just, I still have a lot of comprehension problems.
So your truck blew up when you were over in Iraq. There was what do you call that?
A Humvee. It was an up-armored Humvee that was, we were hit by an IED.
Yeah, that's really, really scary. I can't imagine going through something like that.
Yeah.
So have you tried other medications in the past, Greg? Like, what kind of things have you tried before we've done the GodShot today with Dr. Lipoff? What other kind of procedures have you tried, interventions have you tried?
Well, a lot of things were mostly done out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and so one of the thing was that I was so drugged up, I just didn't like the feeling of not being able to feel things. I didn't like walking around numb, and so a lot of that stuff I just went in and just stopped it, and but I started self-medicating really heavy into alcohol, big time. A lot of times I didn't even know how I even got home. I was just so heavy into it, and it was the only thing that really gave me comfort. And I could go out and have 10 shots, of Fire Jack or whatever, and I'd have rum and cokes on top of it along with beer. And then when I got home, I'd even have more on top of that until I can go, try to go to sleep.
So from this GodShot thing here, what have you experienced? Do you feel like your anxiety is down a little bit more right now after this procedure today?
Oh yes. I feel that right now I don't have any intrusive thoughts right now.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah, it's really cool. Before that, I used to have those intrusive thoughts just bounce right in there. Flashbacks would be bouncing right in there, and so now it's not there at this point.
That's phenomenal.
So,
well, there's two vets here today. They're the first two of 25 that I'm donating to go ahead and have this procedure. How were you notified that the funds were available to go ahead through our gift to help you with this?
Well, actually, I just found out today about the gift. When Greg had called me and said, that can I be here? And I was
just today, huh?
Yeah, and that's what I just found out today about it.
Awesome.
So, and then he approached me about meeting you and first with this donation and that. So now I have to do a little more research on this donation.
That's
too.
amazing.
Well,
Well, I'm really glad that we had the chance to meet through all this, and I want to stay in touch with you, and I really hope that this helps you long term and stuff. So you live up in here on the this area of Michigan and stuff.
yeah, I live in Michigan. That is correct. Yes.
Gotcha.
I really appreciate the opportunity to not only that you and myself, but also to the other veterans too as well.
Well, and that's what I want to. That's why I want to stay in contact with you long term, is help bring this, to the world. There's a lot of people all across the world, different nations that have gone to war and fighting and stuff, that have gone through these really tough times and stuff, and that the medicine and the Veterans Affairs is not yet working with this procedure. But do you think that this is something that the VA should be really looking into instead of these medications?
Yes.
Or in conjunction with?
Yeah, I believe that anything, that even if it's a combination of two things or just one thing, as long as there's some light at the end of the tunnel, knowing very well that you can still have a quality of life, and be able to make an impact, within society itself, and be productive instead of being secluded and being, just drinking our lives away.
So if this works well for you, do you have other people that are probably going to want to do the procedure as well? That
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
How many people do you think you have know a lot of people that have PTSD out there?
Oh yes, yeah, certainly do. I have another buddy that was also hit by a roadside bomb as well, and he had TBI, PTSD. And other symptoms in that, but I also think our Vietnam veterans and that would also benefit from the program itself, or Korean or whoever has been part of combat.
Well, I think you're here for a good reason, and it's your message to the world that we're going to get this out to and share it with the people out there and stuff like this. So I just want to say thank you again for your service, Brian. It's just a blessing that we're all able to be here today.
Right.
Isn't it amazing,
Yes,
right?
it is. Yes, it is.
So it's awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys. Be watching and looking forward to staying in touch with you all through all this. Thank
Yes,
you very
thank
much.
you. I appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you.
I see you.
Yeah, and they tried to put me under. And my
You're
ass
in
would
front
not
of
go
Nutella?
under. I wouldn't go under. I was awake the whole time.
We arrived at heaven.
Purple dragons. Well, they had all my medicine there. And they were like,
Downtown Chicago.
fentanyl, morphine. You're already on all this stuff.
The man. Trump Tower.
Talking about my girl, my girl.
He'll finish the song if he looks at how much. You gotta finish the song if you see how much of a tip it is.
Oh God! Okay. Ooh, I bet you want. No. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, but it won't be long before I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So just call on me, brother, and you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
We are now approaching.
The original Playboy Mansion. This was Hugh Hefner's private 70-room mansion, and he owned this up until 1974.
Oh, okay.
In 1974, he sold it and moved to California, and he sold it to the Art Institute for $2 million. It's been divided into condos now, and this coach house on the end is on the market for $14.5 million.
How much money do you need?
Woo. And it still has, from what I hear, I don't know from personal experience, but it has an indoor glass bottom swimming pool.
That's awesome.
Like the. I think
I see you. Chicago dogs. Okay, what do we got for you?
Want a cheddar dog? You want everything on it?